The shadows are lengthening, stretching across the pavement like dark fingers. Each step you take echoes in the silence of the night. The air is thick with anticipation, as if the darkness itself is holding its breath. A chill creeps into the air, wrapping around you like an icy shroud. The frost on the ground crunches underfoot, and your breath hangs in the air like a ghostly apparition. The world seems to hold its breath, waiting for the horror to unfold. It's the feeling of dread, the anticipation of something wicked this way comes. You can almost hear the whispers in the dark, the rustling of leaves, as if something unseen is watching. The forest is alive with secrets, each shadow hiding a story untold. American Horror Story returns, dragging us back into its macabre embrace. The static on the TV, the flickering lights all signal the return of the unknown. This season promises to delve deeper into the shadows, exploring new and terrifying tales. The stories are darker, the characters more twisted, and the fear more palpable. This time the horror digs deeper, burrowing into our minds and refusing to let go. It preys on our deepest fears, turning our nightmares into reality. The new chapter promises to unravel secrets long buried, revealing the darkness that lies within us all. Each episode is a journey into the unknown, where the line between reality and nightmare blurs. As the pages of this new chapter turn, we are drawn into a world where the line between reality and nightmare blurs. The eerie symbols, the flickering candlelight, all hint at the horrors that await. Prepare yourself, for the terror is just beginning. The new season promises to be a roller coaster of fear, with each twist and turn revealing new horrors. The characters are more complex, their stories intertwined with the darkness that surrounds them. The horror is not just in the monsters, but in the human psyche, where the true terror lies. Premiering in October 2024, Season 3 of American Horror Stories continues the anthology format. Each episode, a standalone nightmare crafted to haunt your dreams. This season promises to be the most unsettling yet, with tales that delve into the unknown. Exploring the darkest corners of the human psyche, it reveals the fears we dare not speak of. Prepare for a descent into madness, where reality blurs with the surreal. Ghostly apparitions and haunted houses await, each story more chilling than the last. Sinister whispers and eerie shadows will keep you on edge, questioning every creak and groan. As the ominous fog rolls in, brace yourself for a journey into the heart of terror. Uncover the secrets hidden in an old diary, where cryptic writings foretell doom. Meet enigmatic characters, each with a dark past and a story that will send shivers down your spine. Witness ancient rituals that summon unspeakable horrors from beyond. Follow the tale of a cursed doll that brings misfortune to all who possess it. Venture into an eerie forest, where the trees whisper secrets of the past, and face the ghostly apparitions that lurk in mirrors, waiting to pull you into their world. Episode 1, The Backrooms, plunges us into the depths of internet lore. This episode is a chilling exploration of the unknown, a journey into a world that exists just beyond the fringes of our reality. The backrooms are a place where the familiar becomes strange, where the mundane turns into a nightmare. It's a concept that has captured the imagination of many, a modern myth born from the collective fears of the digital age. A young woman, lost in a labyrinthine office space. Her confusion is palpable, her fear almost tangible. She wanders through the endless corridors, each turn leading her deeper into the unknown. The office, once a place of routine and normalcy, has transformed into a maze of terror. The walls seem to close in on her, the silence amplifying her every breath, every heartbeat. The air grows colder, and the fluorescent lights buzz ominously, casting long, unsettling shadows. Empty, yellowed, endless, the backrooms. These hallways stretch on forever, their sickly yellow walls a constant reminder of the protagonist's entrapment. The fluorescent lights flicker intermittently, casting eerie shadows that dance on the walls. Each step she takes echoes through the empty space, a haunting reminder of her isolation. The backrooms are a place where time seems to stand still, where the past and present blur into a continuous loop of dread. The air is thick with an unspoken menace, and the silence is punctuated by distant, unidentifiable sounds that send shivers down the spine. This episode masterfully utilizes the pre-existing mythology, crafting a terrifying tale of isolation and paranoia. The silence is deafening. The emptiness, suffocating. Every corner turned, every door opened, reveals more of the same. Endless empty rooms that seem to mock the protagonist's desperate search for an exit. The sense of isolation is overwhelming, the paranoia all-consuming. It's a psychological horror that preys on the deepest fears of the human mind. The walls seem to whisper secrets, and the air feels heavy with unseen eyes watching her every move. The protagonist's descent into madness is agonizingly slow, her grip on reality slipping with each passing moment. Her mind begins to fracture under the weight of the endless monotony, the unrelenting isolation. She starts to see things that aren't there, hear whispers in the silence. Her sanity unravels thread by thread as she realizes that there may be no escape from this nightmare. The Backrooms have claimed her body and soul. The walls seem to pulse with a life of their own, and the shadows twist into grotesque shapes that vanish when she tries to focus on them. The Backrooms are more than just a physical space. They represent the dark side of the internet, a place where fear and isolation reign supreme. They are a manifestation of our collective anxieties, a digital purgatory where the boundaries between reality and nightmare blur. In this episode, the Backrooms serve as a stark reminder of the dangers that lurk in the shadows of the online world, a place where one can easily become lost, forgotten and trapped in an empty nightmare. The digital realm becomes a labyrinth of despair, where every click and keystroke leads deeper into the abyss, and the line between the virtual and the real becomes terrifyingly thin. The protagonist's journey is marked by eerie encounters and haunting visions. She stumbles upon rooms filled with decaying furniture, the remnants of a forgotten past. The air is thick with the scent of mildew and decay, and the walls are adorned with cryptic messages scrawled in a language she cannot understand. The flickering lights cast ghostly apparitions that vanish as quickly as they appear, leaving her questioning her own sanity. The shadows seem to move with a life of their own, creeping closer with every heartbeat. As she delves deeper into the labyrinth, the environment becomes increasingly surreal and nightmarish. She encounters rooms where gravity seems to defy logic, with objects floating in mid-air or clinging to the ceiling. Mirrors reflect distorted versions of herself, twisted and grotesque. The walls ooze a dark, viscous substance that seems to pulse with a malevolent energy. The very fabric of reality seems to unravel around her, and she is left to question whether she is still in the Backrooms, or if she has crossed into another, even more terrifying dimension. The final moments of the episode are a crescendo of terror and despair. The protagonist, now a shadow of her former self, stumbles through the darkened corridors, her mind shattered by the relentless horror. She finds herself in a room with a single chair, the only piece of furniture in an otherwise empty space. The chair seems to beckon her, a final resting place in this endless nightmare. As she collapses into the chair, the lights flicker one last time, and the screen fades to black, leaving the audience with a lingering sense of dread and unease. The Backrooms have claimed another victim, and the nightmare continues, waiting for its next unsuspecting prey. The Backrooms is a masterclass in psychological horror. It delves deep into the human psyche, exploring the fears that lurk in the darkest corners of our minds. The creators have crafted an environment that feels both familiar and alien, a place where the boundaries of reality blur and the mind begins to play tricks on itself. The creators understand that true terror lies not in jump scares, but in what we cannot see. It's the anticipation, the dread of what might be lurking just out of sight, that truly gets under our skin. The use of shadows and darkness is masterful, creating a sense of claustrophobia and unease that permeates every frame. The fear of the unknown, the primal instinct that tells us to be wary of what we cannot see, is a powerful tool in the hands of these creators. They play with our expectations, leading us down dark paths and into unsettling situations where the only certainty is that something is very, very wrong. The feeling of being watched, the sense that there are eyes on us even when we are alone, is another key element. This paranoia is heightened by the clever use of camera angles and perspectives, making us feel like we are never truly alone, even in the most deserted of places. The slow unravelling of sanity, these are the elements that truly chill us to the bone. The characters in the Backrooms are often isolated, their minds fraying at the edges as they struggle to distinguish reality from illusion. This descent into madness is portrayed with a haunting subtlety, making it all the more terrifying. The episode's sound design is particularly effective, utilizing unsettling ambient noises and distorted soundscapes to create a constant sense of unease. The sound of static, distant whispers and unidentifiable noises all contribute to the feeling that something is terribly amiss. The use of sound is not just about creating jump scares, but about building an atmosphere of dread. The silence is often more terrifying than the noise, as it leaves room for our imaginations to run wild. When the silence is broken by sudden, unexplained noises, it jolts us out of our comfort zone and keeps us on edge. The silence is often broken by sudden, unexplained noises, keeping the viewer on edge and amplifying the feeling of paranoia. These moments are carefully timed to maximize their impact, ensuring that the tension never truly dissipates. The Backrooms is a testament to the power of psychological horror. It shows that the most effective scares are not the ones that make us jump, but the ones that linger in our minds long after the screen has gone dark. By tapping into our deepest fears and anxieties, it creates an experience that is both unsettling and unforgettable. Another brilliant example of psychological horror is the use of unreliable narrators. When the audience cannot trust the perspective of the protagonist, it adds a layer of complexity and unease. We are left questioning what is real and what is a figment of the character's deteriorating mind. The manipulation of time and space is another technique that heightens psychological horror. Scenes that loop, time that seems to stand still, or spaces that defy the laws of physics all contribute to a sense of disorientation and fear. This bending of reality makes the viewer feel as though they are trapped in a nightmare. The use of familiar settings twisted into something sinister is a hallmark of psychological horror. When everyday places like homes, schools or offices become the backdrop for terror, it makes the horror feel more personal and inescapable. The ordinary becomes extraordinary, and the safe becomes threatening. The interplay between light and shadow is crucial in creating an atmosphere of dread. Subtle changes in lighting can transform a scene from mundane to menacing. The strategic use of darkness, where the viewer's imagination fills in the gaps, is often more terrifying than showing the horror outright. Psychological horror thrives on the unknown and the unseen. By leaving much to the imagination, it allows the viewer to project their own fears onto the narrative. This personal connection to the horror makes it all the more effective and haunting. In conclusion, the art of psychological horror lies in its ability to tap into our deepest fears and anxieties. Through the use of atmosphere, sound, light and narrative techniques, it creates a sense of unease that lingers long after the story has ended. The Backrooms exemplifies this art, making it a standout in the genre. The Backrooms also masterfully employs the concept of liminality, spaces that are in between, neither here nor there. These transitional spaces evoke a sense of unease and disorientation, making the viewer feel lost and vulnerable. The use of unsettling imagery, such as distorted faces or unnatural movements, adds to the psychological torment. These visual distortions make us question our own perception, blurring the line between reality and nightmare. The Backrooms also taps into the fear of isolation. The vast empty spaces and endless corridors create a sense of abandonment and loneliness, heightening the psychological horror. The character's isolation mirrors our own fears of being alone and forgotten. The creators use disorienting camera angles and unsettling close-ups to create a sense of intimacy with the horror. This technique makes the viewer feel as though they are part of the nightmare, unable to escape the terror unfolding on screen. The Backrooms is a chilling exploration of the human mind, using psychological horror to tap into our most primal fears. By combining atmosphere, sound and visual storytelling, it creates an experience that is both deeply unsettling and profoundly haunting. echoes of terror beyond the screen. What makes the Backrooms and the rest of Season 3 so effective is their lingering impact. The horror doesn't end when the credits roll. It seeps into our thoughts, our dreams. We start to question the shadows in our own homes, the strange noises in the night. Horror has a way of embedding itself into our psyche, making us more aware of our surroundings. It heightens our senses, our fears. The real-world implications are profound. Horror can lead to anxiety, sleepless nights, but it also teaches us resilience. By confronting our fears on screen, we learn to face them in reality. The line between fiction and reality blurs, leaving us haunted long after the screen goes dark. The power of suggestion, unsettling our reality. It's a subtle art, one that can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary, the mundane into the terrifying. The mere hint of something sinister can send shivers down our spines, making us question what we know to be true. The genius of American Horror Stories lies in its ability to tap into our deepest fears. It doesn't rely on overt horror, but rather on the psychological, the unseen, and the unknown. It's the fear of what might be lurking just out of sight, the terror of the unseen threat. It takes everyday anxieties and magnifies them, twisting the mundane into the terrifying. A simple phone call, a glance at a computer screen, these become moments of intense dread. The show masterfully plays on our modern fears, making us see danger in the most familiar places. Suddenly, the harmless becomes sinister, the familiar unsettling. A child's toy, once a symbol of innocence, now a harbinger of doom. A street corner, once a place of comfort, now a scene of potential horror. The show redefines our perceptions, making us question the safety of our everyday surroundings. This season dives headfirst into the anxieties of the digital age. Our dependence on technology, our constant connectivity, these are the new frontiers of fear. The show explores how our digital lives can become sources of terror, how the tools we rely on can turn against us. The fear of online surveillance, the idea that we are always being watched, is a central theme. It taps into our paranoia, our fear of losing privacy. The show makes us question who is watching us and why, turning our everyday actions into moments of potential exposure. The feeling of being constantly connected yet utterly alone, this paradox is explored with chilling precision. The show delves into the isolation that can come from our digital lives, the loneliness that can be felt even when we are surrounded by virtual connections. These themes are explored with chilling precision. The show doesn't just scare us, it makes us think. It forces us to confront our fears, to question our reality, and to see the world in a new, more unsettling light. It's a masterclass in psychological horror, a journey into the darkest corners of our minds. As we delve deeper into the season, the lines between reality and nightmare blur. The show's ability to make us question our own perceptions is its greatest strength. It's not just about the monsters in the dark, but the monsters within our minds. Critical acclaim, a chorus of unease. Critics have praised Season 3 for its disturbing narratives and striking visuals. The season has been lauded for its ability to get under the skin and stay there long after the final episode. It's a testament to the power of well-crafted horror. From the chilling forests at night to the fog-covered graveyards, each scene is meticulously designed to evoke a sense of dread. The characters' terrified screams and sudden jump scares keep viewers on the edge of their seats. Eerie whispers and flickering candles in haunted houses add layers to the unsettling atmosphere. Sinister smiles and chilling reflections in mirrors contribute to the pervasive sense of unease. The desolate, abandoned towns and lone figures walking through the mist create a hauntingly beautiful yet terrifying experience. Season 3 is a masterclass in horror where every detail, from the blood-red moon to the lurking shadows, contributes to a chorus of unease. A legacy of fear, American Horror Story continues. American Horror Stories continues to solidify its place as a modern horror anthology masterpiece. With each season it pushes boundaries, exploring new fears and unsettling new realities. It's a testament to our enduring fascination with the macabre, our need to confront the darkness that lurks within us all. Each twist and turn brings new horrors, from haunted houses to cursed objects. The stories delve deeper into the unknown, revealing secrets that chill to the bone. As the series progresses, it continues to captivate and terrify, leaving audiences on the edge of their seats. American Horror Story remains a haunting reminder of the fears that lie just beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered. The eerie silence of the night is broken by whispers of the past, echoing through the halls of forgotten places. Each episode unravels a new layer of terror, drawing viewers deeper into its web of suspense. The chilling tales are woven with intricate details, making the horror feel all too real. As the shadows grow longer, the line between reality and nightmare blurs, leaving us questioning what is truly out there. American Horror Story continues to be a masterclass in suspense, a journey into the heart of darkness that we can't resist. Conclusion: the horror is always with us. The lights are out. The screen is dark, but the horror lingers. It seeps into our thoughts, our dreams, and our reality. It hides in the corners of our minds, waiting for the moment to strike. American Horror Stories Season 3 reminds us that the most terrifying monsters are often the ones we create ourselves. They are born from our fears, our regrets, and our darkest desires. They lurk in the shadows, feeding on our anxieties. And sometimes the scariest stories are the ones that don't have an ending. They stay with us, haunting our every step, whispering in the shadows. The horror is always with us. It never truly leaves, always lurking, always waiting.